Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash.
I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Let it say shalom to the elected teach word out to the Sarah. Shalom to the listeners as well. And we're back out here again to, keep the same thing, man. We once again hand them hammers, driving them nails in, man. What else can we tell you about the butt of the forthcoming events, man? All here about to break loose. A famine's about to come. Martial law, wars on all levels, from a food war to a class war, all the way up to world war. And we seeing the steps that's going to lead towards these things. Matter of fact, anybody got in some? Can somebody get say it 9 and 1?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8.
Yep.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old.
See, this is the pretty much always been the message of the prophets. Before me and before thee of old. So this has always been the case. You got it.
Prophesied both against many countries.
And prophesied because these are things going to happen in the future, man. The near future, in this lifetime. This when everything is about to be summed up. Everything's about to come to its conclusion. That's why America's on the scene. That's why we're in the ends of the world, the west, the end of the world. Everything is about to be summed up, man. So we prophesied against, you got it?
Against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And we seeing it now. We seeing war. So, you have these, you got different war talks. Russia this, Ukraine that, troops this, airstrike that. That's war talk, man.
You got cyber.
Yeah, cyber war.
That's it. War. This is time of war. Cyber war.
Yep. The war on the crime.
Yeah, other war, the class war.
That's it.
Race war.
That's it. Everything is a war. We at the height of war. See, we finna see war in its perfection, man. That's why everything is being stirred up upon the planet Earth, man. You got it. Keep going. Go to verse 9 on that.
It says the prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall that prophet be known.
See, the key word is then. Because you got to hold your breath when you hearing a feel-good message in this time, man. When all these things is going on, you saying, yeah, man, it's going to be all right. You got your damn mind. That's why I said pretty much hold your breath till it come to pass, man. Because ultimately, Yahweh outside comes with a message of evil, man. Matter of fact, get Amos 2, you got that.
This is Ezekiel 7 in verse 5. It says, thus saith the Lord, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is come.
See, evil and only evil, behold, is come. Because it's to the point now you see it through an article, an interview, a news clip. We seeing evils and it's all intensifying. It's not a day go by when you don't hear about a shooting. And that's just scratching the surface, man. They're gonna get to the point you hearing about stadiums of people dying. That's gonna be the norm. Just like now, it's for certain people, it's a norm to see National Guard troops. They see them every day. They know they name and shit. That's the norm. You got it.
Come. It says the end is come. The end is come. It watches for thee. Behold, it is come.
See, the end is watching people, man. Because guess what? It's an appointed day. Martial law actually going to happen. It's going to be declared. It's an appointed day where the grocery store is not going to open again. It's an appointed day. The power going to go out. But you don't know that day. But you pretty much is walking towards that trap.
It's an appointment.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Now we have an appointment. It's waiting on you to get there. Everything is already scheduled for time. You saw it.
That's it.
That's it. The famine waiting on somebody that day. That day. When, you go around. That day in the drive-thru, it's 2:30. It's all down to a science. And you was ready to get those, man. And that was it. That was that day waiting on you to get there.
Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 9.
Yep.
Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also fervent.
See, his sword is sharpened, man. You know, and we seeing it, the things that's going to contribute to destruction. It's being sharpened, man. Such as one of the things Esau, his military, dealing with night vision goggles, because they're going to be one of the strategies, man, going to use is to kick in your door like you in your boxes, man.
And that goes what you said, that's the height. We're at the height of the sword, you know? Technology right now, Esau has all types of ways to visit your ass, which goes into the eagle. You know, qualities of the eagle from afar. That's going to strike you. The prey is caught. You don't have a chance, pretty much. And when least expected, that's when the eagle descend and come down upon it. That's the height of danger. We're at the height of danger, man.
Great death.
Or what's that second S? What's that? Second S with the 8 times? But the brother said it's going to be football stadiums of people, man. Yeah.
Verse 10, it is sharpened to make the sword slaughter.
Oh, see, that's the point. He ain't sharpening the sword just to cut that, you know what I mean? Just to put on a mantle. It's set up to make the sword slaughter, man.
Now, behold.
Reading on, it says, it is fervent that it may glitter. Should we then make burnt?
See, so you sit there in the spirit of waiting on trying to buy some tickets to the LeBron game? Cause this shit over with, man. You got the report of destruction coming, but you just reserved 2 seats to the next.
And that kind of, that did something you said that.
Yeah.
Because, man, imagine who was that guy, man. You know, setting up people to go to the gun things. Trying to follow movies here from reality. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're in a pivotal position, man.
Niggas do that to escape reality.
Yeah.
Escape the dealings of the world. Like, you got a deal, but this gang gonna throw it off.
Then niggas taking pictures in the game. Everything temporary. You gotta capture the moment. Everything in Babylon is the same way. That's why you got more people taking pictures. Capture the moment. There's at a graduation. These niggas at the end, you like Applebee's and a bunch of niggas.
It says, he intended the rod of my son as every tree, and he hath given it to be fervent, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened and is fervent to give it into the hand of the slave.
And the slave is Jehovah Shemel. Esau is at his disposal. He's going to contribute a lot to their trouble, man. But who's handling the sword? Jehovah Shemel, man. He said if he's not, what is it, Isaiah 10:7? Both of himself.
Both of stuff can see that.
Lifted it up. So it's Jehovah Shemel. Lift up Esau and put it to use, man. You know? And you ain't gonna find out the hard way. You got something?
Yeah,
Hold on.
okay, real quick. Going back to your Yahushua, Romans 13:4. For he is the minister of the Most High to be for good.
See, he's a minister to the Most High. Oh, with that, it tells you, Jeremiah said, Nebuchadnezzar was a servant, man. Yeah, you know. Because all these kings was serving Yahweh Shemel. They were set up to do certain purposes upon the planet Earth for the Lord. You know, and you know, different with Esau either, so-called white man.
Lord stirs the minds of kings.
That's it. You know,
king of this earth right
It's a really so now he said it was a suggestion to take the there. Now I said, now you gotta get it. No, the Lord giving it, now they said Esau to make a short left. A hard left. A hard left. Now you gotta get it, or you ain't gonna eat it. That's all. That's how about I told Esau to do that. You got it.
It says, for he is the minister of the Most High to be for good, but if thou do that which is evil, be afraid.
Yep, be afraid. Count the dog.
For he beareth not the sword in vain.
He beareth not the sword. So that sword ain't just there for nothing, man. This nigga ain't came up with the gun for nothing. Like I said, count the dog. All these things gonna be put to use, even the missiles. So I said after this, that's gonna be what it said, that should be any after many generations, that should be nothing like that. So all these things gonna be put to use, man. You know? Get what you got.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
The sword is the wicked himself, so-called righteous. You know, and the Lord is going to disappoint him, but that's why I said arouse the Lord disappoint him, because Esau's going to be let loose, man. It's not like you going to just see this man just on TV the whole time. He's going to be in your face by the way of those troops, man. You know, and we seeing these things that lead towards that. He's going to keep telling you go down there and get it. He's going to come to you, man. He's going to, yeah, that's it. See, it ain't required. It's not called required or compulsory or mandatory for nothing. With open just a prelude to that same thing. You know? And that's the time we in. This man and his act of desperation to keep his head above water. This is when he got this is when he came up with his warped mind to do that.
Yeah, you got it round like as I What happened? You start flaring your arms, you slapping people. You saw him on what I said. Because it's out of desperation, like you both said.
This is Psalms 125 and 3. For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity.
See, so that's going to be a penalty. You know, what it says, read that last part again?
It says, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity.
See, so that means you join yourself into Esau. That's the result of you going to die, man. But it says, the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon a lot of the righteous. You know?
It says, do good, O Lord.
Unto that rod is that thing. You know? Esau is not going to be able to penetrate the elect. Remember, we're virgins. We have not known any woman. So Revelation 14 chapter. So Esau will not penetrate us. So the rod of the wicked will not rest upon the lot of the righteous, man. These things brought back, meaning, like the brother said, you revert back to Esau. That's going to be the true extreme. That's the proverbial fork in the road. Either you're going to put your trust in your house and outside, or you're going to run back to Esau. Or the scripture tells that the elect will not choose the latter. A scripture where they shall no longer stay upon that open. Let that ride. See, everything Esau has done has afflicted us. That's that continual that was that Isaiah the 14th chapter. That's why anybody who come up against this doctrine is going to be destroyed. Because it's calling it out, it's plain. It has identified the offenders. Now the Lord gives you a glimpse of hope. He was the biggest evil. You know what I mean? Yeah, plain, exactly. And I know that Funyuns coming at a different bag. You got a Funyuns bag. It's a cross between, you don't know if it's the thick bag and you got a 27-ounce Fago. That's courtesy of Esau, the so-called white man. We identifying and targeting this man, man. You got it up. I feel like it was more.
Yeah, it was a little bit more.
Yeah.
Cause,
I'll come back and finish.
verse 4, it says, Psalms 125 and 4, it says, do good, O Lord, unto those that be good, and to them that are upright in their heart.
That's what it's gonna come down to. One that's really subscribed to these truth, man. That's all truth. Upright and hard. That's what y'all watching outside looking at. Fuck you doing all this and granting in the lingo, your mindset, which gonna ultimately come down to your decision making, man. You know? Do you really trust in your house outside? You really take that L, you know? That's what it's gonna come down to.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 13. Their offspring is cursed.
That offspring, see, this is the generation where this nigga's not gonna get away with it. You know? He's not gonna get away this time. See, back then, they down their deathbed, they gave their slaves over to their sons or whatever. Even in the fabulous pits, they got away with it. This is the time they not gonna get away with it. You got it out.
Read on, it says, wherefore, blessed is the barren that is undefiled.
See, that is undefiled, the one that haven't been touched. That cried out for this nigga, you know what I mean? Try to force itself upon you, man. Those are the ones that are blessed.
Do not let Esau penetrate us. Stubborn and righteous. Faithful. Oh, that's why that word faithful. Faithful stuff. We've been held bound to one husband.
Which hath not known the simple bear.
Woo! See, because it lets you know we not finna make our bed here and eat. Or they what that Proverbs 7. Yeah, let me get that real quick. Cause I always see trying to lay it out like come to count out with me. Yeah. Just make your bed here. Just get you a music video, make you a couple million, and then set up a song letter for your church.
And a nigga sleep like this. Huge rainbow. Yeah, we know that's dealing with destruction.
That's a sound.
What you say, stretch all over there? See that?
That's
Come on, man. You can make this stuff up, man. Hey, this is the day of the Lord. Yeah, as it was in the day of the Lord.
Yeah, no. That's what you want to see.
Parallels of
I think it is. I used to see how
Yeah, it's gonna come from one end of heaven to the other. Yeah, you see that? That's a year, man.
yeah.
Oh, and I'm gonna say it again. Get ready to say good. Get ready to see good. Get ready to see good.
This is Genesis.
Oh, y'all hear that, right? Sorry. Hey, somebody doing these crazy guys. Those crazy guys with Bible. And then we talking about rainbows, Noah, and fire sirens. Yeah, these are the strange teachings of Yahweh. It goes into the mysteries of the kingdom, man. Which goes into foolishness. The foolishness of preachers. That means there's a mystery to the people, man. They marvel at the kingdom of heaven. This is the kingdom of heaven, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Son, this is Genesis chapter 9 and verse 12. And God said, this is the token which I make between me and you.
Son. Did I do what?
That I make between me and you.
Right. Talking to Noah. Go ahead.
And every living creature that is with you for perpetual generation.
Perpetual generation. Hey, perpetual meaning what? Everlasting. Never ending. Eternal. So like, that's it. Hey, it stands right now, man. Hey, we looking at a sign, right? We're looking at the token right now. That's why we're bringing this out. Huge rainbow, man. We see the beginning from the end. Go ahead, bro.
God, it says, I do set my bow in the clouds.
Yeah, so I set my bow, which is the rainbow in the cloud, in the sky. All right, the earth is round. But if the earth went round, that bow would be straight. See?
And it shall be for a token, for a
It
covenant.
will be for a sign, all right, for a covenant. Go ahead.
Between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, I will bring a cloud over the earth, and the bow shall be seen in the cloud.
Right. So the Most High is saying, well, I will not destroy this thing no more in water, man. But that bow represents that future destruction that's coming. Beautiful. So he said, as in the days of Noah. See what I'm saying? It got to rain again. So like the brother just said, it ain't going to be the rains that was in the time of Noah. It's going to be those strange rains. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be a strange doctrine to prepare you for those strange rains. That's what Exodus 17 chapter. What is this strange teaching when you come out here? Because the teaching is speaking about a strange work. That's the discussion.
Okay, good. I got one more verse. Verse 15, and I will remember my covenant.
And that's the remembrance right here, man. This rainbow right here, man. The Most High showing us, I haven't forgot my covenant, man. This is token right here in the sky that we see. Yeah, the discussion is going to come. And you said, God telling us, he is right over the minute. He said, come on, man, it's right over the minute. And guess what? Guess what, huh? It's in the east. Yeah, in the east, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But even King Solomon told us to listen to the guess what? And pray to get out of here. Yeah, the Lord is a constant reminder. Oh, really, everything is a constant reminder of the Lord on the floor of America. Right. Oh, you remember the time when all the birds fell out the air? Even the rain itself, as it descends on the lake over here, you see where it looks like a vibration? You see where it sends out a wave? Yeah, it sends out that sound. What you know, sound wave is, that lingo is actually when you speak about the nuclear yeah. Radio wave. Yeah, actually called shock wave. But it's going to be a shock wave. Wave radio. So that's what it is. That rain at the end, it is. See the wave. That's not a milk. That's a precursor, man. That's a reminder to those who are built into spiritual vision that the Lord is going to destroy America. You mean saying some of the static of the destruction of America to kill all of you, right? Save the elect. You mean saying that's just something that's the downplay? No, in the heavens, in the spiritual realm, that's a big deal. That's why it's written in the scripture. So for those of us who attack the business understand we get the eyes to see. Everything is a reminder of the destruction of America.
Ezekiel 38 in verse 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him. Ezekiel 38 and 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence.
So this is how the Lord going to judge. He ain't like he said, please just agree with me. This is how the Lord going to make things, amend things with pestilence. Yeah.
Yeah, that was American thing. Christian flip that. Lord is pleasing me. Fuck out of here. Down his back. Big
It says, and I will plead with him with pestilence and with blood.
And with blood. So pretty much death. That's the only way that Lord gonna be appeased. You got it?
And I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him.
So this is gonna be an aerial assault. The Lord's gonna do this from on high. From missiles to even laser beams from the chariots. You know, you got it?
And overflowing rain.
See, an overflowing. So this is like the Lord emptying in the clip, so called. You ain't letting a whole 100 rounds loose. You want to make sure these niggas dead. But this is how the Lord gonna do it with America. That's why the whole land man gonna be destroyed. You know? That's why I said an overflowing rain. You know, you got it.
And overflowing rain and great hailstones.
Great hailstones. The warheads, man.
So like in the time of Noah, like in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, should I say?
Yep.
It's gonna be compatible to them, man. The Most High allow elements of rain and fire and brimstone come out of the sky. Like the brother just said, you're gonna do it in a modern sense. It'll be them nuclear and them warheads. It's gonna be the same way though. It's gonna be just like you did at the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, man. And it's all made for the earth. See what I'm saying? Just in a modern sense. It's Most High, man. Marvelous. That's why you compare it. That's why you compare it to this.
That is Revelation 8 and 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea.
Good.
And the third part of the sea became blood.
Come out of America, man. All right, which is with the government of America, man. And he was saying what? America, read it one more time.
It says, and the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain.
Yeah, a great government. What is that? Jeremiah 28 and 8. All right, against great kingdoms. That's what we're doing. That's America, man.
Yeah, Babylon the Great.
Babylon the Great.
Yep, it says, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood.
Right. So that great mountain, right, was cast into the sea. That sea is the lake of fire, man. That great mountain is America, which is going to burn, man. Revelation 18th chapter. You know? Cast into the sea, man. And that third part, what? Esau. He's the third part of men. What you got? Sons of the power, sons of men, and the sons of perdition, which is the son of destruction. Esau.
Verse 9, it says, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ship were destroyed. Now, you know what they're going into? They're going into where? Wherever Esau is. Go back and read what you just read, huh?
Come on, back.
Wherever Esau is set up to kick, wherever the third part, that's why I said the ship, wherever Esau sticks his tent, the Lord's going to visit. It's not going to be the remnant of a UN building, you know, some building somewhere in Bosnia. No, everywhere Esau sticks his tent going to be like what? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Ezekiel 38 and 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him.
See, that's whatever Esau is, man. Okay. Many places do well. Lord, they rain on him. So Esau not going to get away. The missiles is giving order. That's the army of your house I see outside. That's good. So they already set up. Like GPS, they have a target. What they call it, their longitude, latitude. So these missiles already know where they're going, man. they're going right with Esau to where?
Make it real quick.
Because this is Psalm 7 and 13. He also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutor.
Right. The arrows have orders. Arrows are under order. That's why they're known as the army, man. They've been prepared and they have been ordained to rescue from the persecutor. Go ahead,
Because it says, I'm going to read it again. It says, he have also prepared him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors.
Okay, take on. He said those. He had those. They already got a certain last one.
Yeah, they're prepared. Yeah, they're under order. They're under order than you have outside. Then Isaiah the 13th chapter as well. That's like that. It's clear, yeah. Get it real quick.
This Isaiah chapter
No,
30.
you're going into the destruction, man. That's the spirit. We saw the rainbow. That's the time we're in. Hey, because really everything is set up strategically for the prophecies, like for the tip. I don't know if we can even say that no more. But the thing, everything's set up for that to be, all it takes is overnight. The report come in, the dollar crash. You see, that system is already ready to be activated. So once that happens, it's going to move fast, like the Apostle Hall was doing. And the missiles is coming right around the corner. Once that happens, the missiles, that's why you see Lord woke up the bear. Through the middle of people that kind of set that, you know what I mean? The bear out of hibernation, prowling around, hands on the nose.
Soviet Union.
Yeah, you know, summer is not. The Lord has, that's Ezekiel 38, that was the book we read about. Wars in the air. That's yeah, through the spirit of God, how about you outside? We reporting that war's coming. The new rain. Oh, did y'all ever get that?
Yeah, I got it.
Right.
This wisdom of Solomon 16 and 16. For the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine army with strange rains.
Yeah, read that again.
God, for the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine army with strange rains, hails, and showers were they persecuted.
Right, it said with strange rains. Now go to Acts the 17th chapter really quick. It's only one way you can report these rains. You can't report it in the traditional sense like a meteorologist. No, the way we can report these strange rains is by way of a strange doctrine. See? Go ahead.
No. This is the book of Acts 17. And starting 18, it said, then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said, what would this babbler say? Others saw he seemed to be a set forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yahweh and the resurrection.
Yeah, that proves that the teachings of Yahweh is not of this realm. Man. So you should, hey, don't fall apart when your cousin don't agree with you. Man, that's been the ruin of a lot of men. They want a family, they cool home boy. They were playing the game, but they couldn't come out of their comfort zone. Then you had to come out of this world. It's like you get caught up in the whirlwind, you can't stop and say, I give up. You know what's going to happen? If you don't continue to ride the wave, you're going to be destroyed. So when you started to subscribe to these teachings, you just committed to a strange form of ideas to this world. All right, go ahead.
And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine, whereof thou speakest is?
Right, so you have the people just like now. You got people that started to inquire this thing. See that? So they wanted to get more acquainted with these teachers, right? Go ahead.
For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears.
Yeah, read that again.
For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears.
Right, see that? So the doctrine that the Apostle Paul was pushing, which is on display now, the overtone of it is strange. This is a very strange teaching. Why? Because we're teaching a strange act. Just like the time of Noah. And again, that was heaven, man. That rainbow, that was the biggest rainbow I ever saw. It covered up the whole east side of the sky, man. You know, what's the chances of that? No. That proves that that same power is active. Okay, and his sights are set on America, Babylon the Great. Like, come on.
Without bringing certain strange things to our ears, we would know, therefore, what these things mean.
Right, see that? So that's, you have to be in a certain spirit to entertain this form of teaching. That's the point, let's go back here.
God, Wisdom of Solomon 16:16, for the ungodly that deny to know thee, was scourged by the strength of thine arm, with strange rains.
See, with strange rains. Well,
hails, and showers. They were persecuted that they could not avoid, and through fire were they consumed.
see that? So that proves right there that hell, that strange rain, was all a metaphor for that fire. Okay? And that's how the Lord's going to destroy America. See, and rightfully so, man. This place ought to be destroyed. Somebody get that? Anybody got something? I got something. Let's go about something.
It's Joel chapter 2, verse 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joel chapter 2, verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses.
Yeah, start from the top, man.
Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
That's what you're witnessing, man. This is a war cry. Okay? And that's far into you always thought the Bible represented everybody coming together. It was a banner of peace. A nigga got shot, it's a vigil. A candlelight vigil for a nigga. And you gotta find a picture. You can't find a decent picture of the nigga. You wanna make a t-shirt or put it on the news. You take a picture of the nigga, you know what I mean? A decent picture he got when he was 13 at his graduation. Yeah, go ahead, What's like it? Oh, yeah.
It says, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble.
Right, go ahead.
For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Yeah, that's the build-up. We about to head into the day of the Lord, man. See, that's, hey, and that proves that the idea of hell, what do that factor in? Because it would seem to me that the most important thing to warn you from is the place where you will be eternally. With the scriptures speak against hell. What's that? Isaiah 57, I will not always keep my anger forever. So that cuts the whole hell, you know. No, this judgment as presented to you, you know, in this totality is concerning a day, a certain day where the Lord will visit the planet Earth once again. Okay? Go ahead,
It says, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people is strong. They have not been able to light.
Yeah, that's John saying for the milk. See? Go ahead.
Neither shall there be any more after, even to the years of many generations.
Now, it's talking about these ICBM mills. It said there has been none the like has ever seen before. That means there was no technology, you know, that can rival what you see today as touching these ICBM missiles, man. That's a beautiful piece of work on your how about some outside. That's an Isaiah 54 chapter. Now you had atomic. Yeah, that's good. You had them atomic bombs, most notable Fat Boy and Skinny Boy, that was dropped on Hiroshima, Nagasaki. But those missiles pale in comparison to what the ICBM missiles is capable of pulling off, man. There's certain missiles that can destroy the whole eastern seaboard, but which the one? The Satan. Satan. And that's old technology, man. That's old now. And that was just the prototype. They were showing, yeah, what we could do. And it's a damn, a weirdo with an email. He's sending shit. Yeah, he's just sending shit via email, man. That's why that technology is falling in the hands of everybody. Yeah, come on.
Like I said, that whole technology, because now they got hypersonic,
Yeah.
supersonic intercontinental ballistic missiles. You know what I'm saying? Hey, real shit.
And well, that's the sword being first to make a sword slaughter. See, y'all gonna see that humble saying in Genesis. It sounds like just a subtle saying. When you read it, you think of a village with, you know, real like Esau. You don't understand that. That's prophecy. That's talking about now. You're seeing the sword in its perfection, man. We're talking about the hypostatic. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I wanted to add one more.
Well, they add even titles to these titles.
I forgot to add one. Exo-atmospheric.
Yeah.
I forgot to add
Exo-atmospheric. Yeah. That goes into the scripture.
Yeah. What is that?
Go out.
Joel chapter 2.
They come back down through the window. Yeah. That goes back to the sword that Isaac gave to Esau, man. You got that? Oh, okay, hold on. I know. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. You was reading, right? Okay, come. But yeah, don't say it. We're doing this Yeah, come on.
They said he's going back to the sword to get more sharper. He saw himself, now started 11. The Most High tells the righteous, the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will wet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready.
Wet in that sword, man. Sharper than that sword. The technology at its height, the evil, in the form of the evil. See? And we're talking about the highest levels of the sword. Now, that's the realm you have just come into, man. You just clicked into the video. You wonder what it's about. Like I say, I can see somebody, they scoff at this, man. And you should. Why? Because again, we're introducing to you a strange form of judgment, man. All right, who's going it up?
No.
Yeah, okay. All right, come on. It's yours,
Isaiah 13, verse 12.
Yeah.
It says, the joys of the multitude in the mountains, like I said, great people. And to multitudes noise, the kings of nations gathered together.
Yeah, it says, like as a great people. And that complements what Revelation what's that, the name? Yeah, the horsemen. Great, though. That word great, that's something out. Showing you that this technology is going to be at its height. Go ahead.
It says, and to multitudes noise of the kingdom of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven.
Right.
Even the Lord in the weapons of the nation to destroy the whole world.
Right, and that's another God saying for the book. And they coming to destroy the whole land. So that's proof that there's going to be a strange. Why have you heard of a destruction that took place on the planet Earth? They destroyed the whole land mass. We have you heard of that? Hey. Yeah.
Like you said earlier, these missiles was predestinated. When they was predestinated, they had an area that was pinpoint, should I say. Such as what? Longitude, latitude. And that's what the brother was saying. So, you read we say, even the Lord in the spirit of his indignation. So what the scriptures say, he's a consuming fire. So the spirit of the Lord is going to be within those missiles. To guide those missiles, like the brother was saying earlier, that longitude and latitude. All right, they got a target that they need. When you got a target, meaning regardless of what's going on around you got a specific spot that you got to meet your destiny in. And that's what those missiles going to do. And that's what the brother, can you read one more time?
Well, that second Ezra is like, what's that second Ezra? 16, strong.
Oh, yeah.
That bendeth the bow. Strong is right. As strong as the hand that bendeth the bow. Meaning what? The missiles will be influenced by the spirit of Yahweh. You got that.
Isaiah 13, forward again, it says, the lords of multitudes in the mountains, like I said, great people. And to multitudes, lords of the kings of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle. They come from a far country.
Lord, man. Mustard the host of the battle, man. Because the Most High is that ultimate warrior, man. So what makes you think those missiles are not going to be the ultimate weapons of destruction, man? Those are, matter of fact, they are the perfect weapons of destruction. Perfect meaning they complete, they sound. You can't get no better than that. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. You can't get no better than that. That's why he's the ultimate warrior.
That's it.
Oh, that's why I said it should be neither at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, see? That's the perfection.
Clean kill.
That's the clean kill, the perfection. Yeah, it's the beauty.
And remember, Saul and them, he didn't do that. He didn't make that clean kill. Boy, knock it all out in one swoop.
This is they come from their far country, from the end of heaven.
Yeah, come from a far country. That's why they call ICBMs. That what makes it intercontinental. You know? They ain't shot within the country, they shot from a far country. Go ahead.
Even the Lord and the weapons,
That's the point right there. Even the Lord will,
and the weapons of the nation.
yeah, and his weapons of destruction, man. Indignation means his righteous anger, man. His justifiable anger to America. That's why he already set an example. How not to run a kingdom and what was going to happen to that kingdom. That's why he compared it to what? Sodom and Gomorrah. You're going to be destroyed by fire. You know what I'm saying? Them strange rains this time. That's why we seen the bow early. I set the bow in the sky to show you guys I haven't forgotten, man. But the Lord's Spirit, the point is the Lord's Spirit is going to be on these missiles, man, like the brother said earlier, and they're going to hit your longitude and latitude, man. Most High, it's like that spiritual, the scriptures is saying the Most High got, it's like a spiritual navigator, you know? The global positional system, GPS, put it in.
That's being a perfect archer.
That's it.
That's why scripture says his arrows shall not miss when they begin to be shot to the ends of the world. So God is going to be precise, you know, and overboard and stuff.
Isaiah 54, verse 16. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
Yeah, the scripture says, the Spirit of the Most High speaking to the prophet Isaiah. He said, look, I have created the smith that blows the coals in the spires of fire. So he taking, what I'm trying to say, he acknowledging that he done it. That's what I'm trying to say. He's taking ownership. He said, read it again. He said, that's what the Most High said to Isaiah. He's taking ownership for creating these perfect weapons of indignation, man.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals.
Yeah, so he's saying he created the man that created the, which is the smith. You know? Right.
What was it that got Jacob Esau? That's like Abraham Esau.
That's it.
Yeah, he was one of the first. Yeah. Yeah. He was a German scientist. He was a physicist. He came out of Kenya, wise men. That was Esau, man. You believe in the spirit, that was Tubal Cain. Going to the generation of Esau. Right. Tubal Cain was the master of the metal. Right. Beautiful. Well, yeah, if you ain't got me in birth,
Said, behold, I have created the smith of the Most High, saying, I created, like the brother saying, the weapon maker, man. Tubal Cain, man. What is that? Isaac Esau? Abraham Esau. It's the creation of the Most High, man. What is that? Before they came out of the
That's
womb.
literally the guy's name.
You see what I'm saying?
That was his name. You look him up, yeah. He, like I said, yeah. Heavy into physics.
Yeah.
He was reported, yeah, he was a scientist. He was a blacksmith.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's like, yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, that bloweth the coals in the fire.
Let's blow up the coals in the fire, man. Because in the ancient times, what a smith created weapons, man. We got one at the highest point of this valley that we live in. You know, the Roman version of Hephaestus, right? Which is the Vulcan. Greek version would be Hephaestus or Hephaestus, however you pronounce it. But the Roman counterpart is the Vulcan. We got one right here, which is the weapons maker. He's got his hammer hanging on his ass beard.
But that's why he got an arrow.
Yeah, now, exactly.
He got an arrow in his
War.
hand. You can't make this stuff up, man.
War.
They changed
See that
the,
shit?
yeah, they changed the statue to an arrow in his hand. That's the spirit of Yahweh Smile Shine.
True.
Esau is a wolf, man. Like it's like the movies, you know, you have like a person that come on the scene. It was a time where, remember the nigga said, which one of y'all niggas came? Remember, it was,
Oh, yeah.
it was a point where he was introduced to the movie. Hey, that's what we got now. Like real talk. If Esau in his natural habitat, right? Esau, his natural habitation, right? His natural habitat is now upon us. The cunning hunter. You're gonna see why he was given the sword. This nigga finished through him, the Lord's gonna have a World War III.
Good. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Yeah, so the Most High made this man to bring forth an instrument for his work, man. He put the thought in this man's head, man. The Most High did. All right? Put the thought in this man's head. He gave him that creativity to understand atoms and how to mend certain things to make an impact with a big explosion. And that's deadly, man. Go ahead.
And I have created the waster to destroy.
And what's that waster to destroy, man? Right here. So just like in the ancient times, you had ancient smiths, you got a modern day smith from the tribe of Teman. These German scientists, man. The smartest race of Esau. You know. Engineers, man. You know. Create these missiles, man. Go ahead, huh?
It's Joel chapter 2, verse 3. A fire devoured before them.
Right. A fire devours before them. That them is the missiles. And that fire that devours, meaning just devastate, just overtake anything it touches, before them is the nuclear heads, man. Go ahead, huh?
And behind
And
them,
guess what, man? It's multiple warheads.
Yeah. I have a knucklehead.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, he thought he had it to a side, like you had like a drop of mic on.
Yeah.
He's bringing up all these links and shit. It's not that many missiles created, you know what I mean? And I asked him in one question, what about the warhead? that might, he gonna say shit else, man. Yeah, you don't consider that, yeah. One missile have multiple warheads.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Trap. You're right, they think they got you, man.
Hey, those missiles gonna be heavy. You know how rain come down? That's how many missiles gonna be. It's gonna be a beautiful piece of work. Like it's gonna be the strange rain. The rain gonna be big, 75 pounds. What is that in Revelation? The weight of a talent. The rain's gonna be that. You see, then the rain was this side. You know, no, these rain. It's gonna look like rain. It's not gonna just be sporadic. Missile come down. You know, like Esau trying to show you the movie. The missile come down, boom, and one come over here, boom. So all those missiles gonna come down like a rain. You got the rain blow from the east. Oh, Spirit showed us that early. How the rain was coming in.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
That's how the rain, the missiles gonna be coming in like this, man. And they're gonna all be in harmony, like rain. Shit gonna be heavy, man. Oh, the new game, bro? I gotta get on there. I'm a jam.
I ain't got on that.
Oh, shit, okay.
They go with that again.
Yeah.
it says,
They're gonna be a strange work right there, man. When the
Yeah,
missiles come, man. That's the Lord, like the brother said, the Lord, the ultimate warrior. He got the ultimate arsenal, if you will. You pulled out a chopper, he pulled out.
Don't be a menace.
But that video I sent y'all to do was
Oh, yeah.
the shootout
Oh,
with
man,
the
I ain't
Mexican.
gonna
And the other guys was shooting 100 rounds.
With a handgun.
Yeah. There's a video, I don't know if I showed y'all the video, I'm going to show y'all, man.
Yeah.
Like a judgment video, yeah.
Somebody like, it's like,
Yeah, go ahead, huh?
somebody like, at the gas station.
No. It was like in Mexico City or some shit.
Hey, you know, it's like, you know,
Hey,
over there.
Mexico City got guys. There's a whole army of guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Right down Tallapoosa, you seen that?
Yeah.
Cuz,
I mean, I didn't
yeah, them two brothers
see
got
it,
killed.
but I had to go pick my little one up. By the time just the water y'all by me out shop, by the time I'm finna go get that way. But that's my exit. Man, they had already acted fool,
Yeah.
man. They
Right,
already
they like-
acted fool, man. Like just the same thing I'm saying. Go ahead, go ahead.
Somebody got their car fan, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And they probably got hit by a switch, cause they say they picked up like 50 shells or 100
Yeah,
shells.
man.
Yeah, right down Tallapoosa. You know, you got the 2 stop signs. You can either bust that right and go to the gas station. Yeah, they got caught right there at the stop sign. Yep. 2 brothers.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
It was 2 brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got judged.
Yeah, see, I would pass somebody because I was at work, and we was like, damn, you know, highway bagged up, and you just saw their car right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a reminder. Yeah. Hell of bullets. But that side of the milk is coming. The milk is gonna come like hell of bullets. You know, it's gonna be like rain. That's that overflowing. The brother brought up here, the overflowing, right? See, go ahead.
It says, and behind them a flame burning. The land,
Behind them a flame burners, man. There it is right here.
Yeah, pull that up. Chalkboard.
Chalkboard. Right here. Behind them a flame burners, which is what the thrust, man. You know, that rocket system.
Fuck that. This motherfucker. Hold it steady. But that find the end. But, oh, can I say, I don't know if you mentioned, that's that thrust. That's that fire behind it. When you go into the dynamic of the missile, it's designed, the way it's designed actually is filtered through the scriptures. When you really, but it's not based upon carnal assessment. No, you have to view that through spiritual lenses to see the connection. So we convinced, we know what the scripture is saying is spot on and touching the missile. And everything falls in our favor. You got a nigga coming up against us, well, explain to us why Putin, as it plays out, that shows that this is the words of life. Yeah, go ahead, huh? Did I preach up real quick? Yeah, let's get it quick, 'cause I know we waited through this.
Real quick, Revelations 11 and 13. In the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city
Right,
fell.
that word great. That great earthquake would be for great judgment, which would be recompense for great sin. That's on display in Babylon the Great. That's why that word great there is synonymous. That's the Lord reminding you, I'm coming to get Babylon the Great. Yeah, go ahead.
It said, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain men 7,000. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. It says the second one was passed. Behold, the third woe come up quickly. Okay. Revelations 11 and 14, it says the second woe is passed, and behold, the third woe come up quickly.
Right, the third woe being the third world's war. All right, come on, is it on there?
No.
Is it? All right, come on.
Second, Revelation 16 and 21, it said, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven. It was stone about the weight of a
And
talent.
a great, great hell. Everything is in its perfection. Greatness goes into perfection. Oh, that's the perfect will. Go to that. Romans 2. Yeah, this the Lord, everything is going to be perfected now. The destruction perfected. First of all, like I said, wickedness perfected. It has ran its course, reached its climax. Perverseness rebellion, which is an act of war, is all on display in his height under the watch of Esau, being the eagle. The height of pride, the height of resistance. That's why he's known as Satan. He's the ultimate, you playing a game, right? You know, like the old games when you play, and you get to, you have to beat the last opponent. Well, that's really Esau. That's how Esau set up. He set up as the last in a series of kingdoms and empires. The height of wickedness. So that's why the destruction would be great.
That's good. What the scripture says, Jacob is what? Jacob is the beginning.
Yep. Esau is the end.
Esau is the end.
Yep. Also, what's that? 1 Corinthians 15th chapter? The last enemy that should be
Yeah,
destroyed.
that's it.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's death.
Yep.
Got that? Go ahead.
Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Right, you know this applies to all the sincere believers, starting with the teachers, to those of us, brothers and sisters as well, sincerely inquire of Yahweh outside. Your mind has been altered. See, read that again. Huh?
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
See, by the renewing of your mind. And it starts with subscribing to these teachers. Where?
That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
And where?
And perfect will of the Most High.
And perfect will of the Most High. So the perfect will of Yahweh is to destroy America with a perfect destruction. That's why that was a great point the brother made about the Lord being the ultimate warrior. And that's biblical. That's Exodus the 15th chapter. So if that's the case, that would mean that he has access to the highest form of weapon, which again, the milsim is the Lord's. That's a creation. Matter of fact, go to that real quick. What's that? St. John 1 and 3. Get that real quick. I know you did that there. Yeah, that's what's up. Oh, come on.
Revelation chapter 9, verse 17. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and jason, and brimstone, in the heads of the horses, whereas the heads of lions. And
Yeah, that's dealing with those warheads. That's why the scripture said the heads of the horsemen possess the heads of lions. The lion goes into power. Yep. Go ahead.
It says, and out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone.
Yep, out of his mouth. Yep, the head of it, where the warheads are, that was issued out of his mouth. Yep. That's the head. Go ahead. That's where your mouth is. Yeah. Almost. Yep.
By these three was the third part of being killed.
Yep, and the third part of men being Esau. This is how the Lord's going to overthrow Esau, the so-called white man, through nuclear destruction. And you know what? You got to have people always got a damn complaint. And rightfully so, you know what I mean? But they don't know that the source of that complaint, you hear this, you are ailing from a certain cancer, but you don't even know what it is. You know, you ain't even, you acknowledge that you fucked up, but you don't know what the source of it. That's the source right there. Esau, that's the cancer. Well, that's why Yahweh, the scripture speaking about our Lord Yahweh, what's that, Ecclesiastes 10 chapter? Yeah, the physician come to cut us off a long disease that's dealing with Esau. So here it is. The destruction represents really your freedom. The Lord says he's coming to destroy the third part of men. The very one who you complain about. You on the panel talking about the community and shit. I'm tired of that jakes too, man. You know, you get tired of saying Esau, rightfully so, because he should be on a chain. But you tired of saying a nigga in a panel talking about getting the community. Yeah. Not understanding, yeah, you just trying to put a band-aid on the plague. But really, it should be rooted out and discarded. So that's what the missiles represent. You get offended in it, but that represents your enemy being taken down. That's the best way you can. If you was watching 12 Years a Slave, you was saying, I couldn't go for the head, you know. But the Lord had a better way to kill it. Yeah. Lord, I'm gonna burn their ass alive. How about that? Yeah, which they back to get that punishment. Matter of fact, give me that real quick in Psalm 6 chapter. Those same Edomites that put hell on you, you know, you hear these different stories of these Edomites. One of y'all sent the video, I believe it was you. They was practicing in slavery, sex. Was that you sent that? It show you how sick Esau is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on.
Psalm 6 and 10.
So those devils who committed those lewd acts, look at that. Hey, turn this right here fascinating. I always want to know this. Hey, turn that around right there. Yeah. That right there. Anybody know what the backdrop on that is? Where they got the two dicks and they just got them surrounded. Oh, that was what Santa Claus. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's Santa Claus.
Well, that's the spirit. I didn't see that. And I already about to move into that bullshit time to eat.
So that's. I gotta be King Christmas.
Try to make sign they land off. Yeah, come on. A lot of them devils got away. They got away. You got the one right here with, I think that's Claude Neal right there.
Yep.
Fucking devil, man. Hey, turn that around now. Claude Neal got his hands so that.
Oh, God.
Them devils out there that parade around in those pictures, they never paid for that. See? Go ahead, Al.
Lord, listen to the book of Psalms, chapter 6, verse 10. Let all my enemies be ashamed and sore vexed. Let them return and be ashamed suddenly.
See, let them return and be ashamed suddenly. Return meaning what? They're going to be reincarnated. The spirit going to be regenerated, and it's not for the casual Israelites. Those spirits that committed those acts, those offenses, they're going to be brought back and placed on the scene of the crime. Oh, somebody did a video about, or sent the link in about Jake. She was Slacker. Edomite, she was a judge. And she was using, they used racial. That's the same devil that's back, like these young, fiery college students. Hey, because really, when you think about those, going back about a couple of years ago, I know it was in the University of Oklahoma, down here, Alabama, Tuscaloosa. You had these sororities and shit, and they get busted from time to time with either blackface or they'll go to singing a song. I saw the clip with the Oklahoma, bunch of Edomite white boys in suit and tie. They were singing everybody sang the fight song, and the shit was saying, yeah, hey, niggas. I was like, see what I'm saying? Those are the same Edomites. See, in your mind, you think about the old Edomite in the wheelchair, which he hates you too. But the snare is it's the young Edomites. Those are the Edomites that's back that hate your ass. Because you know why? You would think like, well, okay, over the course of time, you had Eminem pop in. By now, this motherfucker should now be retooled to like Jake. So why they using racial slurs? This supposed to be a more nigga-friendly world for them, right? They came up watching niggas on TV and this that proved that it was a spiritual thing there. Those were the same spirit that was back. You go like the old 60 movie, they been a diner.
Yeah. Come in here.
You fuck around and walking the road.
You're walking around, you just like that Twilight, no, that was in Quantum Leap. You don't remember?
Oh, yeah, he was a black boy.
Yeah, he walked into the
yeah.
drink and he sit in the bar.
Yeah, yeah.
He got there and looked in the mirror. He was a dick, you know?
Yeah, yeah. They showed on that Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody flying out, KKK leader.
You're like, it's a nigga. He's like you. He was like,
Yeah, let's get out, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Isaiah 14 and 21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with sin.
Yeah, the Lord is preparing iniquity for the children. That means these Edomites that's parading and prancing around America and throughout the planet Earth. They on the scene of the crime. That's how you look at that. The Lord brought them back and placed them on the scene of the crime, and they finna pay the tab. Let's say you sit in the restaurant with your pop, and he leaves. Yeah, you got to. So that was him. That was him. No, you at the table. You got to pay the tab. But you know, understanding the judgments of Yahweh Shem outside, with that Jeremiah, the 9th chapter, we know that those really are the very same spirits. And that's in the book about, what's that, Ezekiel, like a great, 18. Yeah, Ezekiel 18. But pretty much just to summarize, the Lord is not going to visit you for the iniquities of something somebody else did. So really everybody's judgment is on their own hand. Oh, their blood is on their own hand. Yeah, that's heavy. Your judgment is going to come back on you. You see? The works of your father is not going to dictate, you know, your but, yeah. Yeah, come on.
this is the book of Ecclesiastes, Sirach 41 and 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father.
Right, yeah, because that's these Edomites who are forced, and that's why I'm under demon there. For the press have been on there, just continue to celebrate Thanksgiving and hope that you just don't know. But once the press started getting on, they want to acknowledge it now. Yeah, we acknowledge it was wrong, but it was them. And that's that old saying is valid. It lives credence. Well, it says there is no honor amongst thieves. And motherfuckers, yeah, they actually snitching on their ancestors. Instead of just saying, being straight up, now we come to y'all, you know, we don't like y'all. You know what I mean?
It says,
the conquest of Israel, man. Yeah, go ahead.
it says, the children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake.
Right, see, so as the heat started turning up, they had to acknowledge their offenses more. You know, documentaries all over the place, people coming out of the woodwork. That's how the spirit is. The Lord preserved, this could be a motherfucker, the last person on the slave ship. I mean, motherfucker, yeah. Some motherfucker who was on a plantation, they actually got physical evidence. They said, yeah, I was 8 years old. You know what I mean? I was on, there's actually videos out there. In particular with this one old lady, I think she was like in her hundreds. But she was sound, like she was quick, yeah. And she was going into how she actually used to pick cotton, man. So that was an indictment against Esau.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord.
So Esau, everything this devil has scratched and called to build, you know, to boast in himself, that's becoming shame. China came out and said that Esau got an answer for, it was like a genocide that Hamo, pretty much what's been going on in the Middle East. Did y'all see that? And China said, how about the U.S., won't they answer to this? Shit, I forgot. But it was recent though. I think it was concerning all the, the collateral damage, all the carnage, since them devils been over there occupying, the Middle East, man. So that's a form of that glory of Esau now being turned to shame. Everything, this man's very being is a reminder of his offenses.
God, it says, the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
Yeah, and their glory is, pretty much their power, or the time of their, splendor, so to speak. Them in power. So your very power. Oh, what the scripture? He that is hated in prosperity. Yeah. So like, Esau in his best state, man, is the abominable. He's the wicked. He's the basis of men. Even as he occupies the top seat. All right, come on.
Ecclesiastes Sirach 10 and verse 30. The poor man is honored for his riches. It's like the poor man is honored for his skills, and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches.
And he that is dishonorable in riches, then goes into Esau. All right? And most notable, the bankers. Okay, you got that? Yeah. Them motherfuckers, man. Every week we got to get them. Hey, but they watching, they're going to come down, All right, go ahead.
It says, and he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty?
Right, so here it is. Esau has riches. He has seized control of the resources of the planet Earth. He has everything at his fingertips for it to do. Yet, he is dishonorable. The nations don't want to deal with him no more. You got nations going behind his back dealing with different currencies. You won. Again, like I mentioned with China, they called Esau out on his on pretty much that genocide. Because Esau don't report everything they do. They're not going to tell you all the people they took down over there in the Middle East, seizing the land and the resources over there. Oh, remember with the gold? What was that? Yeah, with the Congo, they found all that gold. You ain't hear nothing else about that shit, man. Esau moved in and silenced. Yeah. That man laid the whole village down. He moved in, silenced everybody, and the media said nothing else about it. Okay. You got anything else? You got something?
Zechariah 14:12. And this shall be declared with the war with smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. The flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Right, yeah. And like I was reading, it's giving you a vivid illustration of what's going to happen to the wicked. And the only thing on the planet Earth now, and in modern times, that's able to do that is the missile. That's capable of producing that said heat. And the scriptures tell you that this land is going to be dissolved, that the elements of this land is going to be dissolved, man. All right? The only thing that's able to do that is extreme heat, man. All right? And when you see it right there, man. Okay? That's the instrument that the Lord is going to use to bring about that heat, man. All right? That's able to do that. Okay? But it says, in the scripture says this is the plague. Okay? Now that lets you know that that's going to be the last plague. Because right now the Lord, he's strategically striking this land by way of plagues. Okay? And that's going to be the one that's to end all.
Plague.
The last one.
Yeah, the plague of plague.
Yeah, that's going to be the instrument for you, man. All right? And rightfully so, man. Because you know, as we go into Babylon the Great, you know, that's going to be that great destruction that the Lord's bringing, man. Okay? And just how we go into the times of Noah, right? Well, guess what? The times that were going on during the time of Noah, people are doing it again, man. All right? You know, and you just have to just imagine it, man. You know, just you know, if you take a glimpse at it, you know, it's, you know, people party, you know, they were, you know, all to the world, man. You know, and the scriptures say that the Lord was upon that time, all right, and he saw that the wickedness of man was great. Okay, and that's happening again today, man. Okay, the wickedness has reached into the heavens, man. Okay, and it's reached the ears of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shah, man. Okay, but that's what we're going to go ahead. Book of Joel, chapter 2, and this is at verse 4. It says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains, shall they leap.
Right. And again, this is dealing with the mills, man, in the form of a parable. Read that poem one more time, man.
It says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains.
See, on the tops of mountains. That word top right there is pretty much placing it in the air. This is the area of text. The tops of mountains. Those mountains symbolizing the different kingdoms. Pretty much these different nations. Go ahead.
Like the noise of a flame that devoured the stubble. As a strong people sit in battle array. Verse 6. Before their face, people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. Right? And this is expounded on the man, so before their face, right? The people shall be much pain, and faces shall gather blackness. All right? That's them being taken by that fire. Okay? Continue on. All right? Verse 6. Before their face, the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall.
Right, it says run like mighty men. But you had, like back in the day, you know, amongst the eschatologists, you know, who try to get into prophecy, end times, right? They'll say that that's dealing with a literal army. You know, that army, a great army, they'll say that it's time. You know, that was the census. 2 billion people in China. You know what I mean? No, that's talking about the milk. That's why I say like as a read that part one more time, right?
It said they shall run like mighty men.
Right, like mighty men. It didn't say they were mighty men. So these missiles is going to be sent forth like mighty men. A mighty man charged to the battle. That's how the missiles come. The missiles is not going to be compromised. Oh, what's that? 2 Ezra 16? As the mighty, they should not be compromised. You got that? Yeah, get that real quick.
This is the book of 2 Ezra.
Yeah, it's going to be a spirit of persistence on the missiles too. We're going to go into that in Joel the 2nd chapter. You know, when the anti-defense systems is activated, they shoot these missiles to try to deter the advances of the onslaught, man. Those missiles going to be moving out the way. They're going to be getting hit, bouncing off them, and getting right back.
Okay, that's why I brought the information that they're, you know, now they're being deemed as supersonic. All right, that's something that's able to travel at the speed of sound. You know, and Esau can't do anything about that, man. And we went into it before, like how you tried to, you know, make a simulation.
Yeah,
and try to shoot.
Yeah, they had a mock drill, yeah, simulation.
Yeah, they had to slow it down. So imagine, like I said, it's supersonic. So how Esau gonna come up against that, man? You know.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer?
That's right, and that lets you know that when those missiles are being shot, there's absolutely nothing that Esau can do. You know, once they shot from one end of heaven to the other, all right, there's going to be nothing to stop them, man. Okay?
God, it says, the mighty Lord sent up the plagues.
Oh, he said the mighty Lord sent the plagues. All right? So the Lord is getting his renown for doing this, man. You know? He's the one that's sending forth these plagues, man. Okay? You know, he's the author and the orchestrator of what you're witnessing right now, man. All right?
God, it says, and who is he that can drive them away?
And so who is he that can drive them away and turn it back, man? All right? Just like, hey, it's like comparison with the handgun. When you shoot that handgun, hey, you can't turn that bullet back, man. You know? So likewise, like the opposite read, it says, who is he that's going to come up against us, man? You know? Because the Lord is the one who's putting the spirit on these bitches, man. You know? He's the one that's allowing these bitches to be able, all right, to have the capacity to perform his marvelous work, which is what? Destruction of Babylon the Great, man. All right?
God, it says, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it?
That's right. So nothing that this man can do to quench that, man. You know? And the Lord is going to visually have his people feel the fire of his jealousy. You know? Because right now, you know, everything's being done spiritually, right? But now it's being made manifest in this lifetime, man. You know? Because back then, there were never any talks of missiles being shot or being created, you know? It wasn't any talks of, you know, like, you know, Russia and China, you know, coming together, you know, for war, you know? And the Lord has chosen this time, this generation, to show you what's about to come to pass, man. Okay?
He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?
Right. He shall thunder, and he's, hey, that's threats, man. Those are death threats, okay? So, now the question is being posed to the people, why you not trembling, man? You know? Because the Lord has announced his coming, all right, by way of the destruction of Babylon the Great. You know? This is the Lord that's chosen this, all right, to make his grand entrance, man. Okay? The destruction of this current world, man. Okay? And it was a marvel during the time of Noah, man. You know, when the ark was being built, okay? And the Lord created that ark to hold, you know, Noah and his family, you know, all the creeping things, man. All right? And the Lord created that marvelous work to show you the kind of power that he has, man. All right? And he also shows you the reward of the wicked, man. What you think is going to happen this time, man? You know? You got wickedness at an all-time high. You know, you got demons, goblins, figs. You have it, man.
Yep.
Monsters. Yeah, so what do you think the Lord's going to do, man?
Forget about monsters. Think about that monster. Monster on a skateboard. It's a random monster. Yeah. This is a horror house.
God, I'm going to jump down to verse 13. It says, strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
It says, strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. All right? Now, mind you, it says right hand. Okay? So I'll let you know that, hey, the Lord also is going to show forth the sun during that same time, man. And as that's being done, man, as the missile being shot, you're going to witness the return of Yahweh Shah, man. Okay? Because Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shah, is the one that's bringing about these things, man. Okay? Yeah.
God, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp.
Yeah, it said the arrows that shoot are sharp. Now, we read earlier, right, in Ezekiel, all right? He said that he created that he's polishing the sword, you know? In other words, he's allowing this technology to be perfected, okay? So that they're sharp, so they don't miss, all right?
And shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
Right, until they be shot in the ends of the world, man. Okay, from one part of the world to the other, man. Now that's the technology that the Lord is allowing this man to create to do that, man. Okay? Which is what? ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, man.
That's why the scripture said they come from a far country. Yeah, matter of fact, you reading that Joel?
This back at Joel chapter 2, and Joel chapter 2.
I see you on this. Maybe it's the continent to the continent. That's what they're coming up.
Verse 5 says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap.
You know, so hey, when those missiles come, man, just you see on YouTube, she always said the thrust from one missile being prepared out of a so-called army tank or the little launch pad that they got them on now. You know, trains, right, ships coming out of the ground, out of the silos. You hear how much sound the thrust make to prepare this missile? The rocket system. So read it again.
Yep. It says, like the noise.
Yeah,
of
so it
chariots.
says like the noise, so it's comparing it to the noise of chariots. Go ahead.
Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains
Right.
shall they leap.
So just like a chariot of horses running to the battle, or a stampede running to the battle, you know how in all the sequence, in battle array, as they say, in battle array, which is in sequence running to the battle or charging, that sound is likened to the sounds of a missile. Read it one more time, huh?
Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains
Right,
shall
on
they
tops
leap.
of mountains. So it's saying not like the terrestrial attack, it's going to be an aerial attack. So that's why it says like the noise of chariots on what? On top of mountains. Go ahead.
Shall they leap.
So shall they leap. So that's Joel actually seeing a vision, like the brother said, of an intercontinental ballistic missile. He says, read it one more time.
It says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of
On
mountains
tops of mountains, go ahead, which is an aerial thing. Go ahead.
shall they leap.
So shall they leap. How do they leap? Through the rocket pack. Go ahead, bro.
Cause that word leap, Strong's H 7540, it says to skip about.
See that? To skip about. That's what them missiles do. When you skip, it's a leap. It's a keep reading. Huh?
Cause it says to skip about, to dance, leap. It says make to skip.
Yeah, make you skip, man. An intercontinental ballistic missile. You got missiles that you can shoot at a person, but you got intercontinental ballistic missiles. Missiles that is capable of going out of the atmosphere, going back in the atmosphere. You got missiles with specific targets on them. You know? But the thing is, this is an intercontinental ballistic missile. It's lining up with the scriptures, man. What Joel saying, just right on this sign, man. Why would he say, so shall they leap? Read it again.
It says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap.
Right.
Like the noise of a flame of fire
See, like the noise of a flame of a fire, go ahead,
that devoured the stubble.
that devours the stubble, man. Right?
Who is the stubble? Who is the stubble? Somebody get that real quick and look it down. And so that's that target, like what I'm saying. These missiles is nothing coincidental. Because you even have certain Edomites out there, certain of those who forecast the future of America, the prognosticators and such, they actually entertain the idea of World War III too. Yeah, Edomites that's not far into that idea. They believe that that's a high possibility. That's why you got a lot of these Edomites in these bunkers and shit. But it's not a random thing like they portray. They feel as if, this miscalculation, this bad relationship with Russia, no. This all goes back to a decree from the heavens, man. So the missiles, they direct, they have a target. All right, good.
Obadiah, verse 17. But unto Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessors. So like it shall possess their possessors. It says in the house of, verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a flame, and the house of Joseph, so like it, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble,
And the house of Esau for stubble.
well, and they shall kindle in them.
Right, so you see where Esau is in the same breath of stubble. That's one of the definitions described in Esau. That means he's wasted away. Now you get the idea of being withered. What's that? Ezekiel, the 17th chapter. The Lord said, dry the green tree. Yeah, go ahead. They on that?
It says, in the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, has spoken.
See? Again, it goes back to a decree. It's a sanction. But the point is what? Esau is referred to as stubble. Okay? So that's how you put the pieces of the puzzle together. Through that precepts, I get understanding. Precept upon precept. So now when you go back here, go ahead.
Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble.
See? So now you can place that stubble. You can put a face to that stubble. That's Esau. Go ahead. And that's what the milk is coming to get. Again, this is not random. It's all an effort to overthrow everything that you see, man. The folly, because really everything you Americans do is driven by folly. It might seem normal because you've been desensitized, but here it is, you raise your wife, can't stand it, and you have these jakes they get off on escorting a bitch and she look like a stripper. You know what I'm saying? Get out like, that's not a bitch, yeah, this, Or the one video where this guy, his bra twerked. Did y'all see that? The wedding?
Oh, yeah, man.
You see that? See that? That's the folly of America. And they was giving them weddings, they was having weddings and weddings. It was on a level like that. That's why they need to be destroyed. Yeah, the day look, if you don't destroy this place, the weddings will get worse.
Yeah.
That's what the Lord said that the days they was married. The weddings will turn to a strip. Everybody in. The groom like a male stripper. Man. Yeah, man. It's a possibility with this devil. Like they say that whoever man gets pissed because Esau did it. You think of something like, man, probably see him, his devil actually did. But hey, like I said, the weddings will get worse. Well, there's one video where this little girl was twerking on her dad. You seen that shit? Yeah. You see that shit? It's really worth it, man. Yeah, that's Esau, man. He's unfit to rule, man. He's unfit to rule. That's why all of you Israelites out there that are not willing to yield to the message, the preaching of the kingdom of heaven, right? Our rulership, then you're going to be destroyed, man. Because this place ought to be destroyed. Matter of fact, go to that there. For that to come back out, man. Hey, see, we teaching the kingdom of heaven. That's a violent proclamation. So you got to get that Christianity out your head. You think coming around and teaching. No, this is going to shake up the world. Well, it's already shaking up the world. Because we proclaiming the downfall of Esau, man. And it's rightfully so. This nigga is not fit to rule. Go ahead, huh?
Psalm 137. And O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed.
Yep. Come on, man. O daughter of Babylon that ought to be destroyed, man.
DTA. Oh, that shit say DTA.
Oh, it says DTA?
Yep.
Maybe we can go back and just see it, go back to the video. The train, they said the train had
Look
DTA.
it up. Look it up. DTA.
You got witnesses, right?
DTA. You don't see that right now?
Say it again?
Yeah, DTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 on.
Yeah. Get ready, get ready to see heaven work. We call all y'all about stuff. And like we always say in the spirit, how was I making his point? It's the ministry of the Lord, man. It's his testimony. Like, come on.
God, it says, O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served up.
Right, so this place ought to be destroyed, man. We should have to pitch that to you. We should have to, you know what I'm saying, overly convey the message to you for it to something to register with you, man. It's obvious that this place in America is wicked and an offense. Now, this is based upon if your reasoning is due to the scriptures. A lot of people don't use the scriptures as You know the argument point. All right, come on, man. You got something, man? You got something?
Second Peter 3, 10. The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. This is a build-up, man, to a certain moment. There's a day that's preserved where the Lord will overthrow the wicked. Everybody had their day, like ancient Egypt. They had their day. That way at the time of the visitation of Esau. Go ahead.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
Right, the heavens passing away with a great noise represents this current rulership. Okay, the powers that be. The Lord is going to remove this kingdom by way of a great noise. See, go ahead.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
That scripture's going into detail. The element's going to burn, it's going to melt with fervent heat. And that's what we're pushing for. That's what prophecy produces. We have seen a few, matter of fact, let's get that with, in second Ezra. Yeah. We only conveying to you what the Lord allowed us to see. Okay? We see the destruction of this place. And it makes sense. Because when you see, again, the offenses of Esau, everything he does is in contrast to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shah. That in itself is ground for him to be visited. That's why the scriptures say that he was left as Sodom was left as an example. So now Esau, there's no trouble. Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra 8 and 23. Whose look drive up the depths.
Yeah, whose look drive up the depths, man. Spiritual overtone of that is dealing with, like I said, the fact that prophecy can pretty much introduce you to destruction. Whose look drive up the depth. Read that again.
Whose look drive up the depths.
And what's the depth? America. That's the valley. That's the low land. Go ahead.
And indignation maketh the mountains to melt away.
See, the indignation maketh the mountains to melt away. That's dealing with World War III. All right?
It said, which the truth witnesses.
Which the truth witnesses. So the truth, meaning the scriptures, were properly presented to you, is a witness to this destruction. We don't have to get no cosign from some nigga with a PhD. You know what I mean? No, we're totally comforted by what the scriptures say. So the scriptures is a witness to this destruction that we speak about, which is Yahweh Shah. Oh, what's that? Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Go to Revelation. Yeah, 1 and 5.
This is Revelation 1 and 5. And from Yahweh Shah, Mashiach, who is the faithful witness.
See, who is the faithful witness. Now, the Spirit of the Lord is on display in the form of the scriptures, his testimony, the prophecy. So how is the Lord the faithful witness through his word? This is the faithful witness we need. This all the witness we need, the scriptures, the prophecy. Well,
It says, and from Yahweh Shah, Mashiach, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood.
Back in the book of Joel, chapter 2, and verse 5. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of the mountains shall they leap.
right, like the noise of chariots, that's dealing with that nuclear onslaught, man. It's gonna be a noisy day too. It's gonna be a real dramatic day, man. It's gonna be shaking. It seems like you see the movies, and it's an explosion, then the movie goes silent. You can just hear a heartbeat. You know, scene shaking. A lot of people eardrums gonna be bust, man. Because there's going to be noise. Oh, that's in Judges, the 5th chapter. You got that? Oh, that's spirit. Yeah, come on.
God, Judges 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers.
See, they that are delivered from the noise, see, of archers, which we know an archer in the traditional sense doesn't make noise. In fact, it can be considered a silent weapon. Yeah, you know, about the bow and arrow in the traditional sense. So again, that's a dark saying, you know, only for the wise to consider. Concerning the brother showing you, man, World War III. This biblical prophecy right here. All right, come on, huh?
God, it says, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water.
And that's dealing with America. Places of drawing water represent the place of your captivity. Go ahead.
He said, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
See, let's show that rehearsing the righteous acts of the Lord. One of the ways you rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord is teaching, going down to the gate. But the point is what? This land of drawing waters, America will be invaded by the noise of archers. It's going to be a loud, hey, that's another thing we don't speak about. Scripture speaks about the earthquake. You know, the earthquake, that represents a vibration of sound. It's going to be noisy, man, when those missiles coming, man. Now, have you ever heard one of those jets? That shit, yeah, you have to close up your ears, you hear that shit. Like, so imagine the thrust of those missiles. That's the sound of chariots. And it's alarming. You go into the ancient world, and chariots coming, that's the most disruptive sound you want to hear. That's how that hiss. No. Yeah, go ahead.
I got it.
Don't let it in. They're good.
God, Psalm 91
Let me
and 3.
erase that out of me. All of a sudden, it's a lesson alive tonight. The hiss. A spirit on fire. That's a killer. You yeah, go ahead.
It's Psalm 91 and 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence.
See, and from the what?
Noisome pestilence.
From the noisome pestilence. The noisome pestilence is the missiles, man. And you see the scriptures is actually going into detail concerning the sounds of the missiles, man. It's going to be noisy. That's it, man. It's going to be a dramatic day, man. You think the Lord who created these works, man, when you consider a tree, how it blossomed out of the ground, you got certain grass that it'll come up through the concrete. Now here it is. You can take that same flower and you can mash it. You can destroy it with your fingers, right? But it'll come up through a hard ground. That's a heavy work right there, man. You know, the one who laid the sun in the sky. You mean to tell me that this destruction is not going to be a beautiful piece of work? Man, it's going to be far beyond. That's why it's compared to the Noah destruction. Because, real quick, the Noah destruction was never seen before, you know. Yeah, good.
Isaiah 24:19, the earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean dissolved, the earth is moved exceedingly.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you said, a great cause, man. Verse 20, it says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. It shall be removed like
yeah, the earth going to actually shake to and fro like a drunkard, and that's an awkward, oh shit, oh man, this is crazy. Drunkard falls all over the place. The earth gonna be coming off its axis, man. All over the place, man.
No stability.
Yeah, you can see that though. When the missiles hit one side, they're gonna, missiles hit this side, hit that side, you know. It's destruction, man. Man, how you gonna be able to withstand something like that? That's why Scripture speaks about only the elect gonna be able to stand in that thing, man.
Scared to be saved.
Yeah, you're gonna be scared to be saved. And trust me, you ain't gonna be. You're destruction. You're gonna no. You're gonna be shook, man. That's add to the dramatic. Why you gotta be saved then? Why you gotta be saved?
Gotta be dangerous.
Yeah, it gotta be done. And you gonna be scared. Oh, well, I was just thinking about that. Get that. The remnant were frightened because we heard the story. You know you how about somebody outside and stepped into action like, oh shit, the Lord been. Nobody else know that. In your mind, you know this how about somebody outside. Working the prophecies, man. Bringing them, the animation of the prophet, bringing them to life. Yeah, go ahead, huh? We're gonna probably say like forever. Now, like, oh shit, another one coming. Rain. You know what I'm saying? Fire coming. We're gonna have real quick too, because you have a shot gonna do. See how it's shot.
God, this is the book of
Yeah,
Revelation.
pardon me, man. The spirit though, we getting close, man. Spirit jacked up.
Revelation's 11.
You said it's gonna happen real quick. Revelation 18:10, it says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Yeah. Yep, it's gonna 1 hour is gonna be fast compared to when all it took scheming and plotting to get America, overthrow the natives. He went through all that shit, and it's up here, a sand castle.
And that's it.
Yeah, the waves, yeah.
The way.
Woo! Yeah. It's gonna happen. But in the spirit, it's gonna feel like it's gonna feel like an eternity, especially for the mothers who getting their ass burnt. It's gonna feel like forever. They've been thinking about hell, so you're gonna feel like you're in hell. Oh yeah, that goes through a process. Your shit just melting off the bone. Oh, they're gonna be tormented, that's it. Man, that's it, huh? In the presence of the angels, in the Lamb. Woo. In the sky, it's like an amphitheater, like you have down here at IMAX, Our Dome. Yeah, it's like this. That's what it's gonna be like. This is like a big eye dome.
Beautiful.
That's
That's where they get that concept.
You're gonna see your outside and everybody gonna see the work of the Lord. It's gonna be art, man, and the Lord Yahushua gonna be delivering. And all you people gonna know why he was saved you in that day. Because it's gonna be such of a heavy situation, right? Nobody mind gonna be able to wrap around that shit in the midst of that fire. And Yahushua delivering certain people. It's gonna be heavy. It's gonna be a crazy, because you can't put the word. It's strange. It's gonna be like a movie, what's the movie we always talk about? Nah, it's so much, happening. You're like, oh shit. You just, that's how it's gonna be. And the destruction, you see how it's shot. They're gonna be overwhelmed. Yeah, then you're gonna see certain people being delivered, and they're gonna be changing in the middle of the air. The body they're gonna turn into a new body in the middle of the air. Man, that shit gonna fuck people's head up, man. It's gonna be a heavy drama. You know the Lord's gonna. Yeah, it's like. Anything else on that?
Finish it off, slide. Revelation 11 and 13, it says that in the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell.
Right, that great earthquake is dealing with the destruction. Go ahead.
And in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000.
Right. That symbolizes completion. The numerological sense of that word. As touching, the scripture that's concerning completion, that number 7. So that means man and beast, everybody, all of the inhabitants of Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed, save the elect of the nation of Israel. That's what's going to make the deliverance so heavy. And again, you're going to see why Yahweh Shai is going to say, go ahead,
It says, and the remnant were afraid and gave glory to the power of heaven.
Yep, and the remnant were afraid. So that proves that we're going to be afraid when those missiles hit, man. You see missiles coming down. Oh, the scripture said we're going to see 10,000 at our right. Psalm 91, that's going into the deliverance. Because you might say, well, hold up, my neighbor, I don't know, there ain't going to be 10,000 people right there. You know what it's going to be? As you levitate, you're going to see, you see more ground. As you get up, you're going to see places level, jaws and all that, Then you're going to be afraid until you get in that new body. Even in that, man. Like I said, there's so much. But you're going to be afraid and levitate off the ground, especially if you haven't been caught up as yet, and the missiles coming, you kind of feel the heat. You know what I'm saying? You got to endure to the end. You got to believe on your house shot all the way to the end. You with a brother levitate before you. You know what I'm saying? You have to be on point. You got to be like, well, okay, maybe Lord get me in my order. His order was to go before me. You got to use wisdom and all of it. All the wisdom of the scripture is going to come together. Oh, there goes the second Ezra. One man at a time. And one can go in at a time. The ox goes on.
12 to the 2, verse 6. Before their face, the people shall be much pain.
Right. See, that's going into the dramatics now. This thing's going to be dramatized. Before the people, meaning what? Before their face. They're going to see the missiles coming. Man, imagine the looks on you people's face in that day, man. When you hear that commotion in the back. I mean, because that serves as a warning. When you hear those sirens, that's how it's going to be out here, man. It's going to be overwhelming. Go ahead,
All faces shall gather blackness.
Right. They're going to be overwhelmed with confusion. Their faces are going to gather blackness. They're not going to have the answers. These people are not going to be able to make sense of the visitation of Yahweh Shema Shah. They're not going to have a clue what that's about. You might have one thing about, Putin said it, some shit here and there, but that's as far as they're going to go. They're not going to be able to grasp the magnitude of the judgments of Yahweh Shema Shah. And again, the target is America. That's the overtone of the prophetic saying found within the scriptures. That America, first and foremost, America is recorded in the scriptures. And not only that, the fate of America. Man. And how the Lord, the God of the Bible, has sworn vengeance against the so-called white man. That's the story of the Bible. No matter how far-fetched and strange it might seem, it could be uncomfortable. But that's the hard truth. And why is this the case? Because chronologically, before the Lord destroys or visit any nation, he sanctions it. So now you have been presented with this idea. Why? Because the Lord is about to bring forth the judgment. Matter of fact, you're going to see that we read on in this.
Verse 7, they shall run like mighty men.
Right. What?
They shall climb the wall like men of war.
Right. And again, you notice the theme, like men of war. So the scriptures is expounding on a dark saying, a parable concerning the ICBM missiles. Okay? Go ahead.
And they shall march every one on his way.
Now, it said they're going to climb the wall. That also represents America's defense system, which is shoddy at best. And we were just speaking about that earlier. How they did the simulation where they couldn't shoot down the missiles They had to slow it all the way down to shoot down one missile, man. See that? So America is vulnerable. Okay, her walls are broken. But
And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks.
right, meaning when those missiles is in the sky, they're not going to jostle with one another. Matter of fact, continue.
Neither shall one thrust another.
See, neither shall they thrust another. So out of all the missiles that's going to be in the sky, right, being prepared from one end of heaven to the next, they're not going to jostle with one another. And it's just like rain. See, it's just like rain. You don't see rain bumping into each other. Rain drops. See that? But that's how the missile's going to come. Yep, go ahead.
They shall walk every one in his path,
Right, go ahead.
and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
Right, and what does it mean to fall upon the sword? That's going into the defense system of America. Like again, they have these anti-missiles. Arrow 3, yeah, they're designed to intercept missiles in the case of a nuclear onslaught. You're going to actually have certain missiles that shot off, and they're going to hit some of the horses, right? Yeah. Some of the missiles are going to actually hit some of the horsemen, but the horsemen is going to they're going to bounce off the missile and get right back on their target. And there's a lot of missiles headed to Alabama. They got a chart. Y'all see a chart? There's a lot of missiles coming to Alabama. And you can see it like on certain streets, 3rd Avenue. There's a missile set to fall over there. Right side point there. Yeah, come on.
It says, they shall run to and fro in the city.
Right, they're going to run to and fro in the city. That's the scriptures giving you, it's pretty much illustrating, dramatizing the panic. If you have like a soldier descending on a city and they penetrate the wall and they get in there and they running to and fro, now what's happening? People are being ravaged, being killed, right? You haven't been conquered. So that's the feeling that's going to be here in America. As if, there's soldiers loose in the city. Go ahead, huh?
It says, they shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses.
Right. Read that part again.
They shall climb up upon the houses.
Before that's like that.
They shall run upon the walls.
And again, the wall represents a defense. When you go into the ancient world, your wall was your defense. So this word defense right here is the scriptures, speaking about this modern day technology, these defense systems. These missiles, when the Lord sent forth that assault, none of these defense systems is going to combat that. Because there's no way you can offset biblical prophecy. And this is strange, if you're not in the right spirit, this form of teaching. Why? Because we're using what's perceived to be an ancient text, and we're marrying it with modern terminology, such as American missiles. And that can prove to be a stumbling block. What you're going to find out is these ancient texts actually foreshadow, it actually foresaw, or even went as far as foretold the destiny of America. Go ahead,
They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them.
Right, the earth shall quake before them. That's another dark saying for when the missiles hit ground zero. The word earth and quake, it literally means earth shake. The word quake translates to shake. So that earthquake is going to be caused by the missiles. You have somebody, a number amongst the unlearned, they'll read that just to unwind. And they'll say, oh, it's an earthquake coming. Although the scripture speaks about earthquakes, but this earthquake is the destruction. Go ahead,
The heavens shall tremble.
Go ahead.
The sun and the moon shall be darkened.
Right, the sun and the moon will be blotted out due to those mushroom clouds, which the scripture speaks about in, Isaiah 34? Yep, heaven shall roll together as a scroll. Go ahead.
And the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Right, yeah, because after this destruction, it's going to be so emphatic, intense. It's not going to be overnight like the next day. You heard about what happened in America. And motherfuckers walking through, looking through the rubble finding joysticks and shit. It's not going to be that. It's going to be a total desolation. The Lord's going to utterly destroy Babylon the Great. Yeah, and the works therein. And I said it to say this. This sacrifice is going to be a long, drawn-out process. That fire is going to kindle for a very, very long time. So that's why the sun and the moon are going to be blotted out for me. See, we about to go into a phase of biblical prophecy. That is going to be heavy, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't in you people's plans. It wasn't in your plans for America. Yeah. It wasn't in your plans for America to be violently overthrown by the strange works of Yahweh Shah. And once that happens, the earth going to stand still for it. It's going to be blotted out. And the light we're going to come back down, what's that, Revelation the 21st chapter? To claim ownership of the planet Earth again. I'm going to say this is a story that is far beyond the comprehension of mere mortals. There's only a wise counsel as touching those who was promised to be given a glimpse into the kingdom of heaven, man. It tells a story of a people being brought into rulership. But the God of war is going to be, the God of war going to handle it. He's going to overthrow our enemies and then set us up, man. That's the story of the Bible. Right, go ahead.
And the Lord,
you know what proved that? Because you might say, no, that, but you got beef with Esau. You don't like some white man offended you some kind of way. Your broad went off. The job ain't really. Somebody played you. That proves that in your spirit you groan to see America destroyed. Oh, which, by the way, when you go into that word America, it goes back to bitter. Bitter for who? The Israelites, those who were brought over here as captives. In the current status, the current state of Israel, you're prisoners of war. All right, go ahead.
and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
Oh, read that again.
The Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
See, proving that the Lord speaks it first. The decree goes out, then the destruction comes. That's why those raindrops was the army too. When you go back into Noah, it's the same testimony. Remember, that was the army. They are part of the Lord's armies, heaven's armies. Yeah. So Noah was. Noah was speaking and briefing them on the destruction. That was nothing more than the Lord uttering his voice before his arms. So now here we are again. The prophet has been spread. Oh, what's that? Proverbs, the first chapter. Where the Lord said he would stretch forth his hand. That's concerning these different camps that have sprung forth throughout the planet Earth. That's the Lord once more, following, he's perfect. He ain't got to change it up. Send the prophets again, baby. Send the prophets out again. Have them to speak the word. Have them to speak the orders of Yahweh Shah. And then let the children, because what we do is alter. These words is actually going to alter the future. These words have altered the future. That's how heavy the words of Yahweh Shah is. Esau know that. That's why he had you back. He couldn't get rid of the Bible, though. That's interesting. That's fascinating. But they couldn't really, because that would have seemed like that would have been the best thing to do. But they tried. They had the Bible destruction group. But that was them even like they were geniuses, so to speak. And people thought they was crazy. They're like, no, but they got it. Like, I get it. Go and get rid of the Bibles, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't never catch steam, man. That was the Lord preserving that decree. So when we get it, we'll speak it into existence, and it'll start shifting, the landscape. The kingdoms will change. Yeah, come on.
In Matthew 24 and 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations.
Right, so if you're paying attention, our Lord Yahweh Shah is first and foremost making a separation of how the gospel or the Bible is conveyed. He made a separation. He said, look, he said, this gospel of the kingdom. So that would be a particular teaching that would emerge in the latter days, which would be nothing more than an extension of the ministry of Yahweh Shah, which that's the true name of the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father. Go ahead,
And then shall the end come.
So right, you see the scriptures giving you a chronological order. And you can't say it don't make sense because the current events can be filtered through the teachings, man. This devil has now begun to move on you again. You thought slavery was just something to pass. You know, you consider it, you know, speak about it at a barbecue. You hear, you know, the movie come out, Black Panther, remember that? The Wakanda. That gave you a drip of, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
It says, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great.
Right, his camp is very great. Go ahead.
For he is strong that executed his word.
See, so the Lord in destroying America is nothing more than executing his word. Give me Psalm, not that one, Psalm 1 and 4. Go ahead, sir. Hey, because to get a feel for the Bible, which by the way, this is a very intricate book. That's one of the snares that have overtaken the people, you know, that's touching the masses of the people. Their perception of the Bible is it's just like your math book. Your language, you know, just like a book. Chapter 1 was the easiest chapter. You know what I mean? That's what they think Genesis is. Now understand that's a very heavy book, you know, but this book right here is intricate. See? It's riddled with parables. There's a lot of twists and turns that come with this Bible. It's not as of an open and shut case as one might think. All right, go ahead.
Psalms 1 and 4. The ungodly are not so, or are like the chaff which the wind.
And the ungodly being who? Esau. So you have to understand. Yeah. Start with these guys. Those who seize control of the planet Earth. Okay? The offenders of Yahushua. When you go into the technicality, when you go into it, these are the Romans. You see Cesare Borgia. Reincarnate, that's sweet Jesus right there. And they're troubled with terrible fear right now. These devils, these ones who occupy the palace, they troubled with terrible fear. Because they know that the prophecy is not activated. And the spirit of Yahushua is now beginning to hunt goddamn devils, man. The Romans. So that's who the Lord is coming to overthrow, the Romans, man. Those who push forth wickedness in the planet Earth. Exceedingly. The reason why your woman out of order, it goes back to Esau, the so-called white man. The reason why, you know, you feeling so much resistance as a so-called black man, you was conquered by your enemies. It goes back, the scriptures actually name names. You know, Esau conquered you and pretty much set you out on a path of destruction. He deactivated the nation of Israel. That's why you had crack and shit like that. Went into Harlem and they went into zombies. There was no way they can even. There was no way they could even stand up against it. It was war, chemical warfare. See that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Even now, that chemical warfare is subtle. You know, in your neighborhoods, you have access to certain stuff, man. That's Esau. What was that? Yeah, 27 ounces of a Fago.
We worship you.
Yeah, that's what the effects of. Yeah, fluoride. It was that was a conscious effort. That was strategic. That was the so-called white man, you know, waging war where the war was already on. Oh, like was taking that movie. The hunt is on and you're the prey. Yeah. Right. Yeah, go ahead.
Psalm 1 and 4, it says the ungodly are not so.
Right, so the ungodly, that's not as random as you might think either. You think the ungodly just a guy, you know, busting a blunt. No, he's doing ungodly things, but there's a source to his ungodliness. It would be the ungodly. That's Esau. See, that's how you get to the bottom of things. The scriptures promote the counsel of Yahweh Shah. This is testing wisdom. That's why the majority of our people, as relating to the fate of our people, they're going to ultimately succumb to the judgment written. Why? Because they didn't have the mental capacity to tap into this counsel, which this leads to life. It's like a sci-fi movie. I mean, to a certain extent, like, yes, you have been retooled in the spirit. See, and your thinking is being shifted to where now you're viewing this drama, life, through other lenses. You see it differently now, like the Matrix. And in that, you're subscribing to an idea of being saved by a higher power. That's not an easy thing to transition to.
Out of this world darkness.
Right, well, that's what Yahweh Shah said. See, this doctrine is not of this realm. That's why the sanctuary of Yahweh Shah is a small one. But if you truly inquire of Yahweh Shah, hey, you're part of the elect. The Lord is going to cause you to approach him, and you will dwell within his courts. And that's going to be needed. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. We're about to go into a very dark time and infamy that's concerning America. The Lord is about to visit America with unprecedented, very strange forms of plagues. You got the great famine that's brewing. Oh, not to mention the wild beasts. The powers to go out here in America. So the visitation of the so-called white man and his throne will be met with a heavy form of resistance, man. A very strange, which go back to Egypt, strange plague. All right, so come on.
God, it said the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away.
Yep, and what's that wind? Looking at it. Those nuclear winds. That's how the Lord is going to drive away Esau. This is how the so-called white man is to be moved from that seat of power through the violent overthrow of America in certain parts of the world. Can't forget about that too. These missiles are going to participate leap over mountains. Okay? That's why it's known as the World War III, which again is biblical and a major prophecy that's touching, the times and seasons we're in. Man. It's going to cap off everything that we see.
It says, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible.
Yep, read that word again.
Yep. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible.
Right, so there's a day reserved by Yahweh Shah, in which we will overthrow America, which is the most wickedest kingdom ever erected, man. When you read, touching you go look back in retrospect, different empires that have risen and fallen out of power, man, they pale in comparison to the wickedness here in America, who blatantly thumb their nose up at the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shah. So-called white men at the forefront of that rebellion, man. With the LGBTQ, XYZ, you make very foods that's off limits according to the dietary law, a delicacy, man. You can actually got a piggly wiggly. Yeah, man. You see this crazy? You mean tell me Yahweh Shah? Oh, the scripture said if there be one stiff neck among the people, you should marvel if he get away. So if Esau was to get away out of this ass, man, come on, man. Go ahead. Yeah, you should marvel at that. Yeah, go ahead.
For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. And who can abide it?
Yeah, and who can abide it? Your military, your financial status, your status overall in this world, the way you are perceived, none of that shit gonna matter when your Yahweh Shah visits you in the form of those missiles. All right? So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Ba'ashah, Ba'ashem, Kadash.
Double honor to our teachers, the head apostles, and elders, great millstone. Shalom, these brothers out there laboring in his work. As always, the believers, the Akim, the brothers, the Aqua, those who subscribe to this truth well, to the next time, Shalom.
Shalom, DTA, Abba Ball, soon.
Soon. Check your bank account. Slot right on to America.